Spacey Sims, and we are back with more Color X Malice Unlimited, and we are doing the Adonis route. So here's the thing. I was like looking, in the menu, when I went back into like where you can load the prologue, because I was like, let me see like how many chapters we've gotten, because there's like almost 100 little question mark things for that, and I was like, there cannot be 100 chapters. It's gonna take us fucking forever. Only the prologue's there, and I'm like, huh, the hell. And then I saw there was like info about this route, so I'm reading through it, and I'm like, when you get to like character number 3, you can do, and I was like, what the hell is happening? So I looked, because the guide I was using didn't have anything about Adonis, but I did find in the comments, there is like, it's not just the Adonis route, there is like sort of like a side story for Zero. You can't unlock that until you've gone and talked to Mikuni. And I don't know if you have to do the multiple things or not, but what I found out about this is, because I saw a comment, someone was saying I can't do all of everybody in the 30 days. You have to load this multiple times. So I'm like, part of me is like, okay, well, I appreciate that, you know, they gave you so much to do, but another part of me is like, that's a kind of a pain in my fucking ass. That like, we don't just do this where you go through okay, you do it and you're done. It's like, I gotta wait. Now I gotta constantly reload and redo, because you've got to talk to each character multiple times. I think 3 or 4 times or something. The guy, in the title page, it's a little weird. Again, because it's translated. But like, so, and they're trying to be vague without spoiling things. But what it sounds like, you have to talk to each person 3 or 4 times. Because it did say something in the menu where it's like, you know, character 3 after character 3. So I'm assuming each time you talk to them it counts. So you could go through and do this multiple ways. You could go through and we talk to Ogata, we talk to this person, blah, blah, blah. And then the 30 days are up, and then we have to go and we talk to everyone. But I don't know if it's going to register if we go back and do the prologue again. You can skip through it. When we go to talk to Ogata again, let's just say we talked to everyone once and say that was our time. When we go back and do it again, is it going to give us a different conversation with Ogata, or we're going to get the same fucking one? So it's like, it just seems like it's, on one hand, they gave you a lot, because there's no way to get through the Adonis route one time through. You have to go back, do it again. You have to do it multiple times to be able to get through it. But the pain in the ass thing is, that's a, like, we just want to read a side story, but this is like a whole game in itself. Like, all right. So, I don't know. So I'm glad I figured that out, because I think what we'll do is we'll talk to Ogata as many times as we can, and then we'll do another character, talk to them as many times as we can, and then if we have to go through the prologue, go back through, do that character, maybe skip the conversation. You know what I mean? To get everybody's stuff, and so that I don't get confused as to like where the hell we are, or we don't fuck it up, as in, well, I talked to Ogata, then I talked to Akito, then I talked to so-and-so, blah, 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 and then we do it again, and we talk to Ogata, and we get the same conversation we already did. To try to minimize how long it's going to take us to get through this, we'll just talk to Ogata as many times as we possibly can, because I'm assuming, you know, we might talk to him, blah, 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 and then maybe we have a couple of days where we're doing side story stuff like, oh, we're going out with Akito and doing our work, and then we come back and we get to talk to Ogata. You know what I mean? Like, it's not going to be... It could also be we talk to someone every single day, and you could have 30 days worth of talking to people, and that's why you can't do everyone, because there's, what, 9 characters, I think? I'm trying to, like, 8 or 9 characters, and then if you had to talk to them each, like, 4 times... You're not going to have enough time to talk to everyone 4 times. You know what I mean? And then we'll save Mikuni for last, because he's the one that unlocks Zero, and it makes more sense to talk to him last and then do the Zero thing. So, and as far as I'm aware, there's one choice, and the choice, one gives you the good ending, one gives you the bad ending. So that's it. And I'm not sure if that's in Zero's route or what, but so that's how we're going to play this. So hopefully we don't miss anything. I'm sure we'll see if we miss something in the Because I'm thinking each time we talk to Ogata, it'll do exactly what it did for, like, the boys' routes, like Chapter 1, Chapter 2, Chapter 3, Chapter 4. So, we'll see how long it takes us, but I don't know. I feel like this is going to be forever, unless it takes 5 minutes to talk to him, and, you know, I don't know. Anyway, I don't remember the voice we gave him, so I'm just going to give him kind of a normal voice, because, like, whatever. Anyway, I didn't think you'd come to talk to me. I can only assume you have an ulterior motive. Your assumption's not entirely incorrect. Oh, you even admit it? I got my new controller thingy, and the only thing I don't like is there's, like, ridges on the back of it. So, like, when I'm holding it, it feels awkward in my fingers. Like, it's not smooth on the back or, like, my control. There's, like, the little, like, ridges on it. So when I'm holding it, I can feel them against my fingers, and I don't like the way it feels. Well, like, I wish I kind of, like, I don't know, it makes me sad. But hey, it's, at least I'm not holding the controller separately and getting confused as to what's what. But I don't know. Like, I can just feel this square, like, thing digging into my finger, and I just don't. Like, you know, most of the back of the controllers, they're curvy, they might be wavy. This one is, like, square ridges sticking up, and it's just, I don't. Fucking life's a mess. Anyway. Yes, I'd like to get to know you better. Why is that? Because Zero ordered me to. Ah, so this is all in preparation for X Day. I assume you're here to check on the executioners to make sure we're doing our part. I'm guessing that he's already aware that I'm investigating potential deserters. That's right. You're in charge of brainwashing new recruits, correct? Brainwashing! Re-educating, okay? I'm sorry. We like to make it sound better. Brainwashing sounds so harsh. It's not brainwashing, it's training. We get a lot of newcomers who are interested in joining Adonis, and among that number, there are some who become fearful and desert us. I will indoctrinate them in the ways and ideals of Adonis so they don't want to escape, and learn that we are justified in what we do. People who haven't been here for long are typically trained on Adonis procedures by a separate branch. Do you train them too? No, we have a specialist for that. My task is to teach them through my personal experiences as a fellow former member of society. So you'll tell them what terrible things will happen if they don't gain the power of Adonis. Evil had ruined my life and I fell into despair. I'll fight to slam down the hammer of justice. This is the perfect job for me. It's an important position. Adonis certainly couldn't function as an organization without your contributions. I'm glad you understand. I also hear that you do volunteer work when you have free time. And you even take a few members of the organization with you. Oh, that's just something I've been doing even prior to joining this organization. It'll be a useful smokescreen if we're ever suspected of terrorism. It's better if we have more friends among the people. Many political organizations that are part of Adonis also participate in the work. We need to be able to show a clean public image. There's nothing clean about being part of a terrorist organization. You're quite resourceful. There are a few executioners that are as hardworking and loyal to Adonis as myself. Oh, he opened his eyes. That's a first. I didn't know. I just, like, glanced up and I was like, oh shit. Look. When the squinty characters, or the characters that always have their eyes closed open their eyes, you're about to get stabbed. I don't know if he ever did in the first game. I didn't know he could. That may be true. From what I hear, you're always thinking about the organization at all hours of the day. Don't you have any personal hobbies? Like golfing or going to batting cages? It's like, why? Look, he's like, ugh, that's so boring. Why did you pick those examples? Those were just the first hobbies that I thought of as things men your age typically enjoy. Was I wrong? No. I used to do both of them often. I see. Honestly, I can't really imagine you going to batting cages. I was on the baseball team when I was a student. I might not look it, but I was the team's slugger. Wait, baseball? Does that mean you had a buzz cut? Yes. Why are you looking at me like that? No reason. He looks so shifty, and yet he plays sports. He looks so shifty! That's because his eyes are closed all the time, and that's shifty. I guess you can't really ever make assumptions about people based on how they look. You can, really. Shall I call it a day here? I inputted the data into the PC and took a breath. I couldn't shirk my regular duties. I continue my investigation tomorrow, so maybe that's it. That's like one conversation, and then like... Rebirth of Justice. Oh, what's this? Well then, who shall I investigate today? Okay, so we don't ever get to go on anything else. It's going to be 30 days of investigating. Cool. All right. That's how it works. So, all right, they're short. They're like 5 minutes, but that makes it a little bit better because you got to go through 30 of these. I think we'll keep going to Ogata until we can't do them anymore. And I don't know how many there are, so we'll find out probably in this. And you know, story 2? Are you sure? Yes. I would hope they gray him out when he's got no more. I'm thinking there's at least 4 because it said something in the menu about character after character 3, like I forget exactly what it said because I read it the other day. But so I'm assuming there's at least 4 stories for them, maybe. Perfect timing. I was looking for you, but you weren't in your room. So see, you could investigate each one, and then you'll keep going through, and then you'd investigate everyone a couple times, and then you wouldn't get everyone. So there's going to be someone that we're going to have to skip through 2 of their things, or you know what I mean? So, oh, really? I went out to buy this. What's that paper bag? It looks like something a salaryman would carry to a client. Salaryman? It's a wafer dessert from a high-end Japanese dessert shop called Umanari? Umanari? I was joking earlier. Are you really going to see a client? Of course not. I purchased it for myself. The wafers here are extremely popular. You can't buy them without reserving it. I didn't know you liked wafers. Makes me think of those, like, strawberry or vanilla wafer things they had, like, back in the fucking day. Like, literally, like, the wafer with the little cream things in it. And it was, like, they were so cheap. They were, like, the cheap snack. And, like, this was, like, 100 fucking years ago. And, like, now they always put, like, the wafers in, like I have some. They're, like, fucking Nature Valley, like, peanut butter chocolate, like, wafer bars like that. And they're, like, those things are fucking good. Like, I don't know what it is, but they were always, like, so cheap. And it was, like, they were, like, really inexpensive. And you were, like, those are, like, the poor people's snacks. Like, now you're, like, I need me some ramen and some wafers. Like, you know, like, you're, like, that's the college kid food. You're, like, I don't have a lot of money. We're going to get wafers as snacks. Like, and then I'm sure you go to Japan and then they're, like, fucking expensive or some shit. And you're, like, well, here they're cheap. Well, obviously ours aren't, like, nice, fresh bakery made or some shit, but like, God, it makes me want them. I remember the strawberry ones and they were like fucking pink. The wafers were pink. I don't know if the wafers were strawberry, but like, I just fucking want them now. I don't know why I keep thinking about them. And then they say wafers and you're like, They might not be thinking of those because then there's also like Nilla wafers and now I want fucking Nilla wafers. But for some reason when you say wafers, I think of those like, you know, when they like have the crosshatch kind of pattern on them. You know what I'm talking about? You'd know them if you saw them, and that's what I think of when people say wafers. I don't know. Anyway. Not just wafers. I'm fond of Japanese desserts in general. If you went to the trouble of putting in an order ahead of time, that must be true. You think there's something wrong with that? Sweets aren't just for women. Yeah, no. Sweets are for everyone. Well, that's true. So if you like sweets, what do you dislike? Tomatoes. Tomatoes? All kinds of tomatoes? Even raw or processed ones? Ketchup is fine with me. What about tomato puree or meat sauce? Why do you want such detailed information on foods that I dislike? Am I not allowed to? Personally, I'd appreciate it if you let the topic die. I'm sorry, I thought it'd be a good idea to know more accurate personal information. You are diligent in the strangest ways. Oh? Yes, I don't know how quite to explain it, but it's soothing. Everyone's so tense right now in preparation for X Day. But being able to do meaningless small talk like this does make me feel relaxed. It's not meaningless. Oh, excuse me. This is your work. Speaking of tomatoes, that reminds me of my daughter. You had one daughter with your ex-wife, correct? Yes. She was a perceptive child. She'd look over at me with a worried look whenever we sat down to eat and we had food with tomato in it. But when my wife wasn't looking, she'd tell me, "I'll eat it for you, Daddy." Aww. She was a kind daughter. Though I've been separated from her, I sometimes remember her. Now that I can never go back to that life, I feel remembering these things means that I'm weak. There are things you don't realize you'll miss until you lose them. That's actually kind of sad, because now it's like, I had a daughter. I mean, you have one. Yeah, but I'll never see her again. That's sad. I understand that too. I don't think it's weak to think that way. What about our brother? I see. These wafers aren't sold separately, so I always have to buy a whole box. If you like wafers, feel free to take a few for yourself. Sure, if you don't mind. Among the executioners, Tomoki Ogata seems like he should be more normal than the rest. And yet, he's among the most devoted towards Adonis. Once they lose what's dear to them, people can hit rock bottom so fast. Or when you give it up, Spacey, when you just tossed your brother to the wind. Your poor brother! I feel so bad for Kazuki. He lost his best friend / love. Shh, shut up. They're lovers. Akito, why? And then his sister abandoned him. Like, fucking that kid. That kid's life is a wreck. Anyway, shall I call it a day here? I inputted the data into the PC and took a breath. I couldn't shirk my regular duties. I continued my investigation mark. Blah, blah, blah. It's the same shit. Well then, who shall I investigate today? So, like... Yeah, because if they each had 4, you wouldn't get to say Mikuni and half of someone else. So, but if there's only 4 for each one, like... If there was only 3 for each one, you absolutely could, but they're doing it like 4 on purpose so that you have to go through it multiple times. So. But hey, it just means we have to go through twice, which isn't bad because it goes kind of fast, so. You're pretty easy to talk to. What makes you say that all of a sudden? We didn't have anything in common, so I thought I'd have trouble finding topics to talk about. But your hobbies and preferences are pretty much that of the typical everyman, so I feel an affinity towards you. I was a salaryman before coming here, and my life was nothing but ordinary. But I still can't imagine you coming home from a long day's work and watching comedy shows on TV with a beer in hand. Now I know what your biased impressions of salarymen. Now I know what your... I'm assuming it should say. I will say that I do watch a lot of dramas. Oh? What kinds of dramas do you watch? Can't picture you watching romance dramas. I tend to watch cop or medical stories. Even though some of them can have weird premises, they're mostly pretty good. Recently, an author I like has a few of their works turned into dramas. Had. Are they the author of that novel laying over there? Yes, the protagonists in this author's books are often men in my age group. People who face adversity but never give up, and they fight desperately to pull their way out of it. I would say this is like my own personal Bible. You see, I've seen an older drama that was based on his work too. The protagonist was a salesman who was around your age. Oh, right. That one got really popular. I watched it with my daughter. I did an impersonation of the character for her often. He had a very distinct quirk. He'd put his hand on his hip and point at the offender. Thousandfold revenge upon you! Sorry. His eyes are open again. Thousandfold revenge sounds like something fucking Enomoto would say. A famous catchphrase from a TV drama called Revenge Man from 20XX. Episode 3 synopsis. Ordinary salaryman Toru Amagi was hit by a truck, sending him into a coma. When he awoke, he was in a parallel universe. That's kind of like we are right now, right? He swore to exact revenge on the driver, who he happened to meet at the Demon Lord's castle. He gained an amazing superpower. That's it? Nothing else? What superpower? What's going on? Tell me more. I want to watch this now. Excuse me, I couldn't resist. You really looked the part, but I think the real actor was more powerful. It might be the look in your eye. Give it another try, but try to open your eyes wider. I'm not going to. Why? Because I'm not trying to get good at impersonation. There's no harm in learning it as a party trick. And that would maybe make sense if I was still a salaryman, but it's pointless to learn now. Adonis might have end-of-the-year parties. A group of terrorists going out to party would likely end with all of us getting arrested. We could have a party in the bunker! Jesus, party in the bunker! Bunker parties! I wish I could have seen it. What a shame. You really aren't giving up, huh? You've been overly friendly towards me recently. Maybe I want to date you. If that's not okay, I'll restrain myself. I didn't say that. Just do as you wish. When all's said and done, he's quite friendly. I thought he'd be more unapproachable. It's probably like it's nice to have someone to talk to, because nobody wants to ask me about tomatoes. Shall I call it a day? I inputted the data, didn't think my regular duties, blah, blah, blah. Look, I'm not reading that 400 fucking times. We gotta read it 30 fucking times. I'm gonna shoot myself in the face. Not really. I'm just gonna get it's gonna get... Okay, well, who shall I investigate today? Oh my god! Ogata story 4. Okay, well, let's see. It said after character 3... Well, I'll show you in the thing at the end if I remember, but, like... So... It said, like, in brackets, it said character 3. So, like, I don't know, maybe you can only access it from the menu? I don't know. So we'll see. We'll just keep going until it's like, no, you can't do it anymore. I would assume... Well... I mean, Zero's gotta have some chapters, but if each one has, like, 4... I don't know. Anyway. Ogata... I can't do the math in my head while I'm trying to read, and I would take too... And then I would get too nervous. Like, I'm trying to do the math in my head. It's too quiet, and... Oh, God, you're listening to me do math! Like... But I don't know, maybe they have more than that, because I swear there's almost 100 little chaptery things, and that would leave, like, there's only 9 characters, so if they each had 4, that's not even 40 freaking things, and then that's gonna leave, like, almost, like, 60 plus for Zero? Jesus! Like, no. Unless it's just a lot to keep, but, like... I counted them because I was like, this seems like a fucking lot. There was like 99 of them. I don't know. Anyway, what is it? Don't just come into my room without knocking. Where's your common sense? Well, I did knock a few times. I sensed that you were inside, but you didn't respond. I was wondering what happened, but I see you were concentrating on reading that. Oh, really? I'm sorry. Is there something in that letter that's making you making a bit different? What? What the actual fuck? Is there something in that letter that's making you a bit different? That's making you a bit different, but that doesn't making you feel a bit different? That's making you think a bit... What? Because it's not... Is there something in that letter that's a bit different? That doesn't make any fucking sense either. It's more like... I would be like, is there something in that letter that's making you uncomfortable? Or... You know what I mean? Or that's distracting you. But, like... Okay. Alright. Wow. This is... Alright, Tim. The fuck were you drinking when you did this? If you don't want to talk, that's fine. I'll come back another time. There's no need for that. I was actually hoping to get a second opinion on this. Second opinion? Yesterday I received a letter at the TV station from an unknown sender. Is it blaming Adonis for something? No, it was an ordinary letter from my daughter. How did you know? It could just be someone pretending to be her. No, the writing is too distinct. I recognized it immediately. You see, may I ask what was in the letter? She saw me on TV and asked if we could meet. She wanted to see me even if it was only for a little while. Don't you want to meet her? Then there's no reason for you to hesitate. Would you meet her if you were me? My family's busy living a life that's completely isolated from my crimes. I can't say. I'm sorry, it was insensitive of me to insert myself. Not at all. I know you're saying that for my sake. That's so sad. Aww. I thought I had nothing to lose, but there are things that I still cannot let go of. I want her to live her life completely detached from what I'm doing here. So you plan on never meeting her again? I haven't seen her since we parted. She still believes I'm the same person she remembers. I was a powerless man forsaken by society. I was also more honest and fatherly back then. But now my own needs are more important to me. I'm sure I can act out the part of the father to her, but that's all it would be. An act. The fact that I'm thinking of self-preservation disqualifies me as a father. Maybe that's all she needs is an act. You know what I mean? Then how about you at least respond to her letter? If I don't know her address, I can't respond. Then ask Akito to figure out how to give it back to her. Oh, figure out how to give it to her. Even if you are related by blood, if you do nothing, those bonds will erode. If you hold any desire to be family, even in your heart, you should express your thanks that she went through the trouble to send you a letter. It's like we're saying this. Did you forget you had a brother? Girl. Yeah, I'll do that. If you're going to write the letter, then I'll excuse myself. Oh, Shino. What is it? Oh god, he's gonna stab me. His eyes are open. Thank you. I didn't do anything that deserves thanks. Aww. Alright, shall I call it a day here? Blah, blah, blah. Let's see what happens. Okay. Let's see, now that we've done 4, how many... Oh, no. Who shall I investigate today? Let's see if he's grayed out or not. Oh, okay. They've got at least 5 each. Well, that would make more sense. It would actually make sense if they had more than, like, 5. Well, it said character 3. I don't know. So, you know what look, I don't know. Anyway, maybe it... Well, no. Well, maybe when it said character 3, maybe it's after Mikuni's 3rd one, and that's when the 0 thing opens. Because you have to talk to, you have to do Mikuni at some point. And I don't know how far, if you have to do his whole thing, all of his scenes, or you just have to talk to him or what. Maybe that's, I don't know. Anyway. So I don't know how many there is for each person, but I mean, it would make sense for them to have more than 4. I just thought maybe because it said character 3. So that's the only reason that's where I got that, but we'll find out today, maybe. Thanks to your assistance, I was able to send my daughter that letter. I'd like to thank you again. Akito's the one that did all the work. I didn't do anything. Besides, I wouldn't want your work to be negatively affected because you were so worried about your daughter. I understand. I'll just leave it at that. You must think that Adonis is some kind of ruthless organization. Oh? Did you think I was a fanatic, like a lot of the believers do? Yes. You found justice in the ways of Adonis and seemed to be more loyal than anyone. But your reluctance to involve your daughter in Adonis issues shows that you know that you're an accomplice to crimes. I support the punishment of evil people who take advantage of the weak. Good people shouldn't have to be oppressed and crushed by nonsensical malice. I share in Zero's vision. However, is there really anyone out there who has never done anything wrong? I doubt it. Although there's definitely a difference in the magnitude. Whether knowingly or not, people cannot live without hurting others. You're right. Damn right I am. I know. Look, once I was mistakenly arrested, I lost my job, my family. I lost everything. My hatred for the cops that tried to sweep it all under the rug still burns within me. However, no matter how it happened, I caused my wife and daughter stress. In their eyes, I'm the one who brought evil into their lives. And it's the same for the family and all those close to the man whom I wanted to exact revenge upon. Despite thinking that, you continue to preach the greatness of Adonis. When you're exacting justice, you can't really consider the other person's side. Oh, his eyes are open. It's scary. I am here out of duty and my dedication to the mission, because I've already sacrificed so much. There's no turning back. You can't avert your eyes just because you have ideals, in order to reduce the number of people who are suffering and helping Zero's revolution. So you're prioritizing your own sense of justice and your ideals over your wife and daughter. Ex-wife, she divorced him, but daughter, yeah, that's correct. I've already murdered someone. These stained hands can never touch my daughter again. I have no regrets about dedicating my life to this organization. You intend to stay here until you die? I don't know. There's no telling how long Adonis will be able to deceive the public. I'm not holding onto any delusions about how staying here could make everything turn out better. Then again, it's the same for you. Right. There are those who support Adonis and those who hate and reject us. For our upcoming X-Day plans, the nation and the police will have some large-scale countermeasures prepared. It won't be as easy as 2 years ago. If you know that already, why are you here? It's got my own... I've got my own wish that I want to fulfill here. That's all. And that's your sense of justice, is it? Justice? It's nothing grand like that. It's just the same you wanted back then. There was only one path left for me to take. I have nothing left. We had all our boyfriendos and Kazuki. Kazuki's the one who has nothing left. I mean, he has a shiki in his music, but still. All right, so shall I call it a day here? I put the dead on my people. I can't shirk my regular duties. Blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah. Like, who shall I... 25 days. Oh, I like that it tells you every, 5 days. Oh! I wonder if that's all of his stuff. Phew. With a sigh, I headed towards the temple. I was a bit depressed. So, Zero has summoned me? I assumed he wanted to hear a progress report on my mission. Still, I haven't discovered anything definitive yet. Even though the investigation had just started, I was in contact with the executors more. Wow, I can't. I was like, the executors. That's not it. It's executors. Well, I mean, they could be executors, but doesn't suck. But in the short period of time, none of them had revealed anything to me. Well, especially because we only talked to Ogata. I'm assuming that they think you're going to talk to 5 different people until you realize what the fuck is going on, but... I bet Zero already knows this. I wonder if he summoned me just to kill time. Well, all I can do is tell the truth. I still had time until the deadline, after all. I stopped in front of the temple. I heard something at that moment of pause. A voice. Is he talking to someone? There weren't any guards nearby, nor was there any sign of them inside the temple. Has he sent everyone away? In the deepest recesses of the temple in this building, there was a holy and forbidden place. Entrance was only allowed to a scant few. That meant I had a pretty good idea who he was speaking to. I discovered that my assumptions about the owner of the voice were correct. Mikuni. The report is finished. Also, there's new data from the lab. The outline is here. Do you want to know the details? No, the outline is fine. I'll get the details directly from the person who compiled the data. Understood. And then I shall arrange things as such. Is there a report from the agents that we've sent out? We're getting periodic updates. Progress is a bit slower than expected, but there's nothing that's impeding our plans. How about our operations within the police force? Those are also moving along as expected. We believe we should start seeing results sometime within the next week. Aside from the staff directly under the chief of police, the place is under our control. There are no issues hindering our deployment. Everything should make it in time prior to X-Day. Is that so? Our morale is running high and all reports from the various departments show that everything's stable. If any problems were to arise, they'd be small matters that could be quickly dealt with. Everything's going according to plan. And this must be because you've been working so diligently. I'm extremely pleased. You're more than welcome to be pleased with my work, but it's not like I'm doing it for your sake. If you said it was, I would think that you were plotting something. I suppose that's true. I'm glad that I'm able to sense your will. Yeah, but still, I think that doing this is worth it. So you finally come to terms with your status as the symbol of Adonis? I've said this before. I'm just doing what I want to do. It isn't for you or for the followers. That's perfectly fine. Even still, this is still for all the weak in the world. Yet I still have one concern. It's wonderful that you've been showing some initiative lately, but... Isn't that due to the girl? What? Spacey Hoshino. The deeper she gets into Adonis, the happier you seem to be. 'Cause he loves us! Oh, it so hurts that we can't actually date him. I mean, I kind of feel it now. Naturally, I recognize her abilities and fierce loyalty to the organization, but now, she's simply one member. I cannot accept her having undue influence over anything. Yeah, I know that. But as you said, I've been doing well, correct? So silence your chiding. No, that's precisely why I'm asking right now. I think that you being this way means that I'll get a real answer. This has been on my mind for the past 2 years, and I still haven't gotten an answer. It's gonna be him. He's gonna be the traitor. I mean, come on. Of all the people you'd... And Zero doesn't unlock until we do his... It just seems shady. I don't know. I don't know if we find out or if it's like what I really don't know the answer. But I know that they're the 2 choices that we have to make, and I'm just curious as to the person it's talking about in the choices. It says him. And it's like, him who? Are we talking about Zero? Are we talking about, like, Mikuni? Like, the traitor? If it ruins it, you know it's a him. But, I mean, I just assumed it was going to be Mikuni, just because... Even in the original one, they were kind of, like, getting to that rift. You know what I mean? So, well, what are you getting at? Stop beating around the bush. Are you in love with her? What? With Spacey, Hoshino. He is. Right. You really are an idiot. Enough. Leave me. Don't worry about anything you don't need to. As you wish. Him in love with me? That's impossible. Girl! Remember Saeki? Yeah, nope, never mind. We knew! From the very beginning he's in love with you. Hey Hoshino, what's up? He's in love with us. We knew from the first Hey Hoshino. I reacted to that suggestion harshly because I'm the one that he was supposedly in love with. The situation wasn't something that you could attach a sweet name like preference or love to. Honestly, I think that he hates me from the very bottom of his heart. No, that doesn't seem right either. But whatever it wasn't friendly. Zero? Even if he bothered to explain it, I'm sure that Rei Mikuni understands it. I'm confused. The situation is something you put like... I reacted harshly. Him in love with me? That's impossible. I reacted harshly because I'm the one he's supposedly in love with. Situation isn't something you could say. Honestly, I think that he hates me from the bottom of his heart. I don't know how she would ever think that Zero hates her. Like, nothing he's ever done by bringing her here, the collar, like, everything, like... I mean, I guess maybe you're like, he collared me and whatever, and, like, I can understand her being like, I highly doubt he loves me, because that's fucking weird. You know, it's the, you love me, but you want me to go in a fucking cage? Are you on fucking crack? I get that. Okay, I get it. But I wouldn't be like, he hates me. Obviously, he doesn't fucking hate you. So, like, that seems a little weird to me. Unless she's talking about Mikuni, then absolutely I think he hates you, and I believe you there, but... The door opened and Mikuni exited. I bowed silently to him and he paused for a moment. However, he apparently regained his composure and walked past me without saying a word. He was glaring at me. It wasn't just my imagination. Unlike Zero, Mikuni's easy to understand. I felt Mikuni's presence get further away and I sighed internally. What a pain. I didn't like being treated poorly for something that I hadn't done. Pardon me, Zero. I knew that he sent for me, but I wanted to hurry and present my report. I didn't want there to be any misunderstanding. It just wasn't in the right box. And that concludes my report. There's nothing noteworthy at the moment. I see. My report was over in a moment. Zero's response was flat. It's been 5 days, bitch! You gave me 30. My priority for the investigation was for them not to know that they were under investigation. Should I have been a bit more forward? No. If they had found out, it would be a pain. Your actions were correct. I wanted to let them swim until they showed their tail. That direct and unconcerned reply suddenly created doubts in my heart. Are you certain that there's a Judas among them, Zero? Of course a Judas was there. We just didn't see any traces of them. I felt that there was his conclusion from the onset. I think having them is normal. I think if you're normal, you'd have doubts. The executors. I don't know why every time that comes up, I'm like, the executors, because like the executor of, and my brain cannot, and I'm like, no, it's executors. Why can't I fucking, like I trip over it every time. I don't know why my brain doesn't want to read it right. Anyway, The executors were not people raised by Adonis as pawns from the beginning. On the contrary, until they had thoughts of revenge, they were normal people living lives unconnected to the crimes. Though they were a part of Adonis now, at the least, they had misgivings about terrorism and could be racked with guilt. That's what he wanted to say. From the beginning, they weren't as extreme as the people raised by Adonis. Naturally, the executors would be conflicted. Normal people weren't generally going to be fine completely devoting themselves to terrorism. Zero knew this, and yet, 2 years ago he brought them into Adonis. Along with me. Sure enough, he wants to test me. He needed to see if a normal person will resist. He needed to see if I would struggle. Maybe he just wanted to see that rebellion was the true face of humanity. Hey, Yoshino, do you want to reminisce with me? Though I was about to sink into my own thoughts, he forcefully pulled me out of them. Reminisce? About what? When I first met you at the police academy, I spoke to you first, right? Remember? When we were in the hallway? Yeah. Because he was like, she's hot, let me talk to her. Hey, all of a sudden I'm in this terrorist organization. I need my girlfriend here. Let me put a collar on her. Come on. You were having trouble carrying some heavy luggage. I asked if you needed help and you stubbornly refused. Even though I insisted on helping you, you did it your way and ended up taking a big spill. Man, that was funny. I stuck my hand out to help you and got pulled down too. And we sat there on the floor for a while just looking at each other and laughing. Yeah, okay. He remembers the first time we fucking met. He remembers the first time he saw us. He's absolutely in love with us. Yes, I remember that. After that fit of laughter, we both divvied up the luggage and carried it together. I didn't want to remember, but I didn't want to forget it either. I kept it buried deep within my heart. Aw. And the first time we actually had a real conversation was at the drinking party later, right? It only took a week or so, but it was like we were old friends. Simply put, I thought that we really got along well together. And I thought the same. It was the first time I had a male friend I could be so open with. I wanted us to always be friends. I said something stupid like that. At that time, your convictions were strong. In order to protect normal people living their lives, you wanted to get rid of evil. You were firmly devoted to that clear ideal. Okay, so I understand also it might not have been just a crush thing, but also the like, you have a firm ideal, let me worm my way in. I get it. You didn't put so much energy into target practice just to protect yourself. No. Oh. No, you did it so that when the time came, you could shoot a criminal filled with malice. After you became a cop, we went drinking a lot. It was fun. I didn't even remember how many times we'd gone drinking together. I'd lost count. It was just normal for us. Stop. I didn't want to remember this. I wanted to forget. I wanted to delete this all from my memory. What I said back then wasn't a lie. It was all true. It's because I wasn't a big drinker. Once I drink, I can't lie. We're those weak ones who are meaninglessly abused. Let's become stronger. Stop. My heart was being torn apart. Blood was gushing from invisible wounds. Please, just stop. It's kind of actually interesting because she's a little hard, like, she's here, my ideal, and then like he's like, remember back in the day, and she's like, please don't remind me, and it's like, it's kind of interesting. At the time, yes, I felt relief and empathy and trust. Because of that, this pain was unbearable. To save those who needed saving, we extended our hands to those who were close to us. Yes, that's what we discussed late into the night. Just stop! Before long, I was covering my ears and shouting. I was at my limit. I didn't want to hear this. I didn't want to hear anything. It's interesting. Like, I apologize. I said too much, but I had returned to my senses. I wasn't in a position now to tell him those things. But once I apologized, Zero just shook his head. It's funny because she just keeps calling him Zero. And he's like, remember this? Like, back when I was Sayeki, and she's like, no, don't remind me. And it's just so interesting. And I keep throwing out Sayeki here and there, but, like, she never once thinks of him as that. But it's almost like, you're Zero. That was Sayeki, and you're just reminding me of a friend that you murdered. Even though, like, as he said, they're all parts of me, but it's still like, this isn't the person we knew, and you're talking about that person. Remember when we did this? We didn't do this! You killed Sayeki and took over his body, you body snatcher! Like, I mean, you haven't changed at all, Hoshino. You have. Haven't changed. Who? I'm relieved. felt like my vision was becoming narrower. A cold chill ran down my spine. Of course, it wasn't fear. It wasn't anything as simple as that. The one who brought me to the bottom was you. I've changed. I knew I had. If I hadn't, I wouldn't have had these thoughts. Right here, right now, I wanted to shoot this person in the head. That was what I was thinking. Wow, what? Damn, Oh my god. Ray said something. He said he was happy that he knew my will. This might be like that. Likewise, I enjoy you the most when you try and impose your will. I felt like I was being filled with emptiness. He turned his eerily beautiful smile towards me. You should be like you? What? I am like me. What? This was more than I could handle. I was already at my limit, but this... I was truly unable to take anymore. I'm truly unable to take any more of these typos because they're kind of ruining the story at this point. Excuse me. Somehow I was able to squeeze out my words. Please continue to work on the investigations. Those were his words after I turned my back. His voice is all over the place, but whatever, it doesn't matter. His voice was strangely light. It's kind of like all over the place. I like how we get the little, like, in-betweenies with him, so that's interesting. When I got back to my room, I took something out of the deepest part of my drawers. The cold body of the pistol felt extremely heavy in my hands. This was the first pistol I used when I arrived here. It wasn't to protect, it was to kill, and I put it into my hands with my own free will. Calm down. Now's not the time for this. The weight, the coolness on the metal, once it settled into my hand, so too did my feelings. Don't let his taunts get under your skin. It's so funny because she's like, he hates me. I don't think he hates you. I do think he's in love with her somewhere deep down, but I think he believes that she's, like, hey, you have the will to be here and all, and, our crazy cult. I definitely believe that. I don't think it's just about loving her, but I do think he's in love with her. But I'm actually now starting to wonder, like, did she choose this? Not because, like, yes, I believe in what they're saying, is more like, if I infiltrate them, I can shoot him and then we're the Judas. We were the Judas all along. That'd be fucking amazing. Wow. I took a breath and returned the gun to its place. I've never known what he's thinking. Not even once. There's no use thinking about it. Why did he say he trusted me, and why did he put me, the one most likely to betray him, at his side? Why did he, who instigated everything, want to reminisce so fondly about the past? No matter how much I thought about it, I couldn't come up with a convincing answer. He's either trying to fuck with your head, or he's actually in love with you and wants to reminisce about the past because, like, maybe a part of him misses that? Or he's fucking with you. I don't know. Does he really want me to hate him that much? That was the only thing I could think of. I already did. I loathed him from the bottom of my heart. That is so sad. Oh my god, wow. That day, everything dear to me was taken from me. A day I'll never forget. At that time, I wished for everything to be erased. Those days when I trusted him, the memories, the feelings I had for him, everything. Wow. Oh my god, I think we might be the Judas. I kind of thought we went into this like, yes, I totally believe in what you're saying, and like, you're a little shady, but like, nah, I believe you, Sayek, and she's like, I hate you, I want to kill you. Fuck, okay. Wow, the long con. For that reason, I can't just kill him. If I just kill him, it won't accomplish my goal. My deepest wish won't be fulfilled. That's what I was here for. Even if my hands were stained with blood, I would erase it all. If he really wasn't lying before, that meant that he really did want me to accomplish the mission. If that was the case, then he didn't have any reason to doubt me, because he's known from the beginning that I wasn't obedient. Oh my god, we are the Judas! When he asked me if I doubted there was a Judas, he said he trusted me, because he's convinced that he would be betrayed. He doesn't think it's necessary to investigate? If that was the case, I didn't know why he'd have me conduct the investigation. Because he wants you to get to know everybody, because it maybe her thing is not just killing him, because she could have killed him easily. It's take down all, like, you know what I mean? Like she said, I could have just killed him, but that's not it. So maybe what you want to do is take down the whole thing from the inside, because even in all the other good paths, right? We kill him, and, well, in a couple of them, we don't do it. He's fine, and he's just out there being Sayeki, and that's fucking Like, but like in the furthest ending, we kill him. Like, that's it. We kill him. Okay, and then there's remnants out there. But in her, like, real world, like, what she would want is, no, I could kill him, and that's great, but that's not going to stop all the little people out there. Like, she wants to take down the whole fucking thing. Okay, I just popped off one leg. I need to smush the bug, you know? So maybe that's what she's thinking. Like, I'm going to infiltrate and take down everything. And maybe he's like, I want you to investigate and talk to all these people because they're real people. You know what I mean? Like, you're talking to them. They're real, normal human beings who just got caught up in something, but they have something that they believe in, you know? And now they're here, and you want to destroy this organization, and you're going to destroy all these people and, like, destroy all their... But the thing is like, maybe that's what he wants. He's like, oh, but if you see all these people, she won't do it, you know? But it's like, but me taking down Adonis wouldn't destroy their lives. They destroyed their lives by choosing to follow you and exact revenge for shit. Unfortunately for, like, Akito, you had someone bomb a school and then committed a murder or whatever. I forgot what he actually did. You did all that. You ruined your own life. Me taking you down just is not ruining your life. Like, I mean, yeah, I would have gotten away with it too if it weren't for you pesky kids. Sure, but like, you did the crime. Like, you know? So, I don't know, but that's interesting. I think we're the Judas. I didn't see that coming from the very beginning, and I probably should have, but I literally thought this was an alternate reality where we're like, woohoo, Adonis is awesome, and we're like, I'll kill you all. Like, snap. Anyway. I didn't know why he'd have me conduct the investigation yet. It was possible that the two Judases would collaborate with one another. It was possible he'd laugh my betrayal off as trivial. Or did he have a different intention? My head hurts. I collapsed onto my bed and closed my eyes. I was finished for today. My head felt like it was going to split in two. I know what they said in the very beginning, like, I'm the most suspicious. And I'm like, well, yeah, but then that would make you obvious, huh? Time to sleep. Sleep offered me no respite the way I was. I might dream some meaningless dream. Even still, I drifted off as if I was running from something. So long as I didn't have to think about him, I didn't care what nightmares may come. So, whoops. Whoops, no, whoops. Oh my god, Ogata has 6 stories! Alright, let's just keep going. I don't know how many they have. There is something I wanted to ask of you. Is it about work? I don't have much operational knowledge with weapons. It's not that. I remember you previously mentioning that you played baseball. Yes? What about it? No matter how hard I tried to imagine it, I still couldn't envision you with a buzz cut. I mentioned that a long time ago. Were you really thinking about it this whole time? Yes? So then I had an idea. If I couldn't imagine it, then maybe you could show me instead. You're telling me to buzz my head right now? No, I wouldn't go that far. I just want to see a photo. I don't have one. Why did you pause before answering? That's just your imagination. Just admit that you have it. If you don't show me, you'll force my hand. What are you planning? Well, if you have a photo, it would have to be in this room, meaning I'll have to do a search. Why would you think I would allow that? And telling me that you're going to search my home in front of me makes you kind of weird. All I have to do is restrain you, then I have free reign to do whatever I want. What's with that rope? The fighting between Adonis members is strictly forbidden. It won't be a problem if no one finds out. All this just to see a photo of him with a buzz cut. We are fucking messed up. I love it. This is great. All right, fine, I'll show you. And just stop inching closer at me. A little chibi, it's cute. You really were a baseball player. I told you that, didn't I? Well, I suspected that you might just have made that up. You're cute in the picture. Why would you try and hide this? What? Cute? Yes, you're very cute. Had I known that this is what you looked like when you were younger, I might have even considered you to be cute now. Cute is one of those words that a middle-aged man really doesn't want to be called. I hope you understand that. Oh, really? I'll be more careful next time. Please do. Also, the fact that you went to such lengths to want to look at this makes you pretty strange. There's a limit to my imagination, so I had to. Oh, I do see the resemblance, especially the eyes. Yeah, because they're closed. All right. I know my eyes are small. I didn't say that. He seems really bothered by it. I should avoid talking about his eyes. In fact, they're closed all the time. This is fucking great. That is the best fucking one. Oh my god, that was hilarious. If you don't show me, I'm just gonna tie you up and search. He's like, all right, fine, Jesus. That's amazing. Who should I investigate today? I wonder how many stories they each have. Wow, how many do they each have? I mean, maybe they each have 10, because then that would be like 90, and then they would leave like 9 chapters for like... But I would assume that middle thing was a chapter of its own, you know, and then... I mean, maybe they each have 10. That's a lot, but... We can get through each one in an hour. I heard through the grapevine that you've been acting friendly and giving advice to the new members. Are you afraid that we'll secretly band together and rebel? It's a little late for that. If you were actually planning that, you'd have been more prudent than that. After talking to you, I realize that the organization puts a low priority on interpersonal connections. Many people who joined Adonis are people who have been abused in the past. Hatred is what keeps them going. But being consumed by the past won't bring happiness. Even if they execute judgment on those who wronged them, how will they live after that? Many of these people are just acting in desperation. Being able to control their emotions is part of the training. It seems to me that you're doing this not just as a job, but you're truly looking out for them. This place is tense in a very specific way. I simply thought it'd benefit them if they had some guidance until they get their feet set. Were you this way back when you were just an office worker? You look like you'd be a manager that looks out for your employees. Not at all. They hated me for being so nitpicky. Even though I was doing it for their own good, it's still a matter of perception. That's why I tried not to have any interaction with anyone outside of work. However, after talking to you, my way of thinking changed. Oh, really? I've also learned a few things from you that I wouldn't have been able to learn otherwise. Hoshino, are you alright? Are you alright? Like, no. Why do you ask? Well, you haven't talked about yourself at all. And you don't appear to really have any close friends in the organization. Are you worried about me? I suppose this is the part of my personality that makes people think that I nag. I don't think so. I'm glad to know that you care. I'm sorry, though. There's nothing that's worrying me right now, so you don't need to give me any sympathy. I don't have any close friends, because if I made close friends, I would actually like you people and not want to burn this motherfucking place down and kill you all. I think that's what she's thinking. I'm gonna go on a shooting spree and kill everyone! I've been slowly putting bombs in all your rooms so you'll blow the fuck up. I don't know what kind of psychopath we are. Then does that mean you threw away your emotions? You don't have to be so negative about it. I think it's for the best. I have a mission to do. If I'm swayed by anything else, I won't be able to complete that mission. You're right about that. However, please don't phrase it like you've lost all your emotions along with your human side. Huh? Even if you deny it, I can definitely still sense the warmth from you. I'll never forget you telling me to respond to my daughter. Shall I call it a day here? I inputted the data, smirk my duties, blah, blah, blah. This is actually, well, we should probably we've got time. I want to see how many he has. Who should I investigate today? What day are we fucking on? 23 days. Oh, okay. What was that? Number 7? 6? How many did we have? We had 5, 6, 7, right? So they each have 7, because his is done. Cool! All right, you know what? Actually, this is the perfect time then, since... Oh, crap, no, we have to pick another character. Let's go with Little Crazy Girl, right? And then we'll do her brother, even though he's, way the fuck over here. He's way the fuck over here. But we'll know because the investigation will be complete. Or should we do Manabu? Oh, he might be interesting to do. I mean, I'd say we'd work our way around. But, I do want to do the siblings. I feel like we should do the siblings around the same time as each other. You know what I mean? Instead of, so maybe we'll do the siblings, then we'll do Akito. Then we'll do Sugawara. Then we'll do Keisuke. And then we'll decide if we want to do Soda or if we want to do Hana. Fucking her. Oh, God. All right. So, I'm going to start her story, but we're going to end this part here. Fuck it. You know what? It's only going to take like 5 minutes. Let's just do her first part. Fuck it. We'll go a few minutes over. Here we go. No, should we? No, you know what? We did all of Ogata's in this part. Let's do all of Suzune's in the next part. So I'm going to actually stop here, even though we could go a little over, but we'll do all of, I'm sure we'll have another like interim kind of thing. But you know, and then I'm going to look in the menu. Actually, hold on. Let's do this for a second. I want to see something. So, yes. Main menu, yes. I want to see... Oh, whoops. I'm trying to, like, flip in here, and I'm like, why is it not working? So, I wonder if you can't access his until after you've gone through the full thing once. Oh, you can't. Huh. Interesting. I think you have to go through the full thing at least once and get through the end before your things show up that you've done. Because I would assume, like... I just wanted to see, like, so this would all be his, and then we'd have... But see how much this is, but... Also, watch. The Adonis story can only be advanced through the prologue. The story cannot be restarted from other scenarios under new memory, as the same scene will be repeated within the current playthrough. Can only be advanced through the prologue. The story cannot be started from other scenarios under new memory, as the same scene will be repeated within the current playthrough. I mean, that makes, I guess, if I'm reading, again, that doesn't make sense to me. Like, I can only advance it through the prologue. Okay, so we've already started the prologue, we've got to save. You can't start from other scenarios in new memory because it would be the same scene within your current playthrough. But like, yeah, so if I picked, that's what I would expect. Since I've already done all of Ogata's things, it should be in the menu. And if I clicked Ogata 1, Story 1, it's going to be what I've already played. So, I don't know. Once a playthrough has been complete, please start a second playthrough from the prologue. And I was like, wait, what? Why would I do it? Now, and I understand now because you can't do it in one. If the ending sequence is initiated using saved data from a previous playthrough, so again, you do it again, overall progress will be overwritten. For example, if you use a save file from the first playthrough and use that to view the ending, regardless of the number of total playthroughs before and completed character investigations, progress will reset to what it was the first playthrough was completed. So, if the end sequence is initiated from using a save data from... So if we save once and we do the end sequence from like this current playthrough, which is playthrough 1, it's only going to show us that. But if we go through and do it, like, I don't know. Like, this doesn't make any fucking... I'm like, I'm going to need you to put it in stupid fucking English because this makes no sense to me. Upon completion of all scenarios, you'll no longer be able to proceed to the character select screen from the prologue. You can still re-review each character. Okay. Completion of all scenarios. But that's annoying. I don't like that, like, I can't... Until I'm done with everything, then it'll show up, and then if I wanted to read, like, Ogata's Story 5, I could. But, like, now, I've done all his. It's never gonna show up in there, and it sounds to me like I have to do all of them before it's even gonna show up in the menu at all. And I don't like that. Because that makes me feel like I'm missing stuff. Like, I want to see it all in there so I know what have I done, what have I haven't done. Like, I don't like the fact that it's like, no, you got to do every fucking character. You got to play through this 6 fucking times before we're going to show that you did it. Like, I don't like that. Don't like it. And then this, regarding a certain final choice made during the Adonis story, if you wish to go down a different route, please start from the individual 3 scenario from new memory. See, this is what I didn't... This is why individual 3, okay. So, okay. There's a final choice, and I know what that choice is. Okay. Please start from individual 3 scenario. And I'm assuming individual 3, I'm assuming that's not person 3. It's the maybe the 3rd scenario. So like Ogata 5. And I think it's Mikuni. I think, you know, or it could be 0. Because you do end up unlocking 0, so it could be 0-3. And that could be where the choice is. It could be in his. I'm not sure which one it's in, but I would assume it's in his and not this. You know what I mean? That makes more sense. That's why I was thinking like, oh, but I couldn't remember what it said about final choice or whatever. But yeah, I mean, I just don't like that nothing is going to show up here until we've done everything. I would prefer it show up when we've gone through one playthrough, but... And also, I'm kind of curious now, we're going to do this. We're not going to be able to finish an entire character, right? We're going to get cut off. So when I go back and do the prologue, we skip through, we start that character. If we're in the middle, do we have to skip through the first so many things that we've already read? Like, it's weird. But anyway, we'll figure it out. So we'll just keep going. We'll do Suzune. We'll start her in the next part, and we'll probably get through all of her stuff. So, and we'll see if we get to start her brother or not, but depending on if we've got another side scene with 0 in the middle again. I don't know, but I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.